Well, hello, enlightened women. Hello, hello, hello. It is a Monday, and you know what I'm going to say. If it's Monday, then that means it's time for Mondays in the meditation room with Dr. K for Midlife Musings. This is a sacred and safe place for the enlightenment, empowerment of all things Black women in midlife. We love this space. We love this time that we get to come and celebrate one another, that we get to redefine midlife. It is not a crisis for us, it is a reinventing, reimagining, it's a rebirth, it's awakening, right? We are redefining it as the most significant and amazing season of our lives, a time of opportunity, and even with challenges, it's an opportunity for growth and coming home to ourselves to be the best that we can possibly be. Why? Because we absolutely are growing to embrace all of who we are and walking in our power and come on, y'all, wholeness. Welcome to Mondays in the Meditation Room. Hey, y'all. Hey, Mel. Hugs, hugs, hugs. See you soon. Looking forward to it. Hey, Crystal. Good evening, everybody. Welcome, welcome. Wow, so excited. Y'all know how to just kind of groove and vibe with the Mondays in the Meditation Room theme song. It's a whole vibe. It's a whole vibe. Especially as I haven't done it in a long time. Y'all know one of my favorite things to do is set the atmosphere, and your space really is sacred. It reflects you, it can reflect your energy, and you get to create the space around you. And one of my favorite things, of course, is sensory smell is so calming or energizing. It's a mood setter. And lately, I haven't really been lighting incense or candles. And today, for whatever reason, I decided to light my Harlem Candle Company candle, Josephine Baker. And I was like, why not? Because it's Women's History Month, man, right? A Black woman owned business, the Harlem Candle Company. And one of my favorite scents is Josephine Baker. Absolutely love it. Now I need to go on the site and order me some more candles, right? How y'all doing? How about y'all? How y'all feel about your space? Isn't it important for you to carve out your own space and time, for you to spend that time in that space so it can be that nurturing place, that quiet place, that place where you can go and center in, and that place where you can smile because you are wonderful, that laugh at your own jokes, read a book, right, and just be. No TV or anything like that. I don't have a TV in my meditation room because it's for my space to gather myself, to center myself, and I just love it. Just love it. Hey, Sister Max. Hey, y'all. Of course, I need to figure out who is who, because sometimes I don't find out, until after I go and watch the replay on my laptop or my iPad, because sometimes you're just showing up as Facebook user. So if I don't acknowledge you by name, it's only because for whatever reason on my laptop your name isn't coming up, and I'm so sorry. I think there's some settings you can do that will allow all of your not all of your information, but your name to show up. Hey, Subi, mother of the groom to be, in a few weeks. So excited for you. Man, so excited. So, I kind of changed the trajectory or the position. Oh, hey, Tammy, I think that's what happened last time. Both you and Dorinda were just Facebook user last time. So I changed the direction of my seating today, because normally the back wall of my scriptures up, be still and know that I am God, kind of that area, or on that area is my yogi poster that says "Peace comes from within" by RD Art Gallery. Two black sisters who are phenomenal. Right, y'all need to follow them. RD Art Gallery. They're on IG and Facebook. They do some wonderful work. But today I turned so that I can have, looking over my shoulder, Harriet Tubman. For those of you who know me, know I absolutely revere and honor Harriet Tubman just for her life, her boldness, her tenacity. Come on, y'all, that she was just a warrior led by the Spirit of God to do the things that she did with such courage and passion. Man, just phenomenal. So this week, um, March 10th, New York, Maryland, Delaware, and different places will be honoring the 200th year of her death. And her birth is also, scholars and researchers believe it's in March. And so I'm not just celebrating March for Women's History Month, which I absolutely am, but also excited to be able to celebrate her life and legacy for her life and the transitioning of her life both happened in March. And so I'm celebrating and honoring her spirit that's still alive and well in us today. How about you? Who is a woman in antiquity or a woman in history that you resonate with, that you celebrate, that you honor, that every time you hear her name or read her story, you resonate with her life? Go ahead and put it in the chat. Who in history or your life that you celebrate um, for being a role model, the way that they live their life, the courage and tenacity, because it might not even be a well-known name. It could have been your third grade teacher, your mama, your grandmama, your auntie, your somebody who impacted your life in such a profound way. Yes, Crystal, come on in here. She is on my list. Nina Simone, Nina Simone, Nina Simone. Can I tell you, I almost cried, no, real tears, when I found out too late that Lettucey was coming to the Kennedy Center to do a tribute to Nina Simone. And when I went to buy some tickets, they were all sold out. I was, woo, I don't even want to tell you how sad I was. I was like, oh my God, how could I miss it? It's going to be phenomenal. I want to encourage you to watch the documentary Summer of Soul. I think that's the name of it. Questlove from The Roots did a documentary on this concert that happened in Harlem in the summer. I want to say 67. I can't remember exact date, but the documentary is out now. I believe it's on Netflix and it's called The Summer of Soul. And it's one of the few times that I've watched her perform live. Oh my God, that documentary itself is amazing, but the footage of Nina Simone on there is powerful. It just, her power is palpable, almost just coming through that screen. So y'all got to watch it. You got to watch the documentary of the Celebration of Soul. It is amazing live footage that's set in cans for years and was discovered, and Questlove from The Roots pulled that footage together. I mean, Gladys Knight, Sly, and the Family Stone, um, The Fifth Dimension, Hugh Masekela, Nina Simone. I mean, it was just unbelievable history. You got to see it. So, welcome to March, Enlightened Women. Welcome to Women's History Month. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm so excited about this month and the opportunity to celebrate women, to celebrate you, because I believe you are legendary and you have made history in your life, even if you don't believe it, even if you don't think you have. I want to celebrate you this Women's History Month because you absolutely have. made an impact and made a difference. That's why I'm talking this month about the search for significance in midlife, right? Love, loss, and legacy. We're going to be talking about that the rest of this month. The search for significance in midlife, love, loss, and legacy. Or I might do the other way, loss, love, and legacy. Um, Yeah. Oh, I celebrate my mom. Oh, that's so cool. Subi. Yep. My mother. Absolutely. Violet Richardson. Yes. If they're connected to you, put in there how they're connected to you. So we know. So I love your mom, Subi. And just the way you share with us the things that she did and taught you and encouraged you and tapped into your power and didn't squash it, but really released it and encouraged it is always so encouraging to hear. So if you put names on there, go ahead and put your mama. Oh, Sister Maxine, thank you. So Violet Richardson is your mother. Awesome, awesome. I love it. I love it. That's who we need to celebrate, and that's who I'm celebrating this month. The women in my life. Um, that not names in light, but names in my heart. And so I'm looking forward to celebrating them this month. So tonight, I just wanted to start off and kick off this moment for our gathering on tonight on the search for significance in midlife, loss, love, and legacy. Um, really, because most of the books that I'm reading, the articles and things. I'm always reading something, always studying something as it relates to midlife. And what I've been reading lately, I've been reading a book on money in midlife, meaning in midlife, and the two books that just really been resonating with me recently. And I kept seeing the same thing. And it was about meaning, finding life in meaning. And wait, let me pause. Okay, Kathleen Merritt, mother of Tamara. Yes, Rawlings, I want to do that. Hey, Mel, to my Miss Key. Yes. My mom, who empowered children and adults in our community, teaching them how to sing, how to harmonize, how to read music. My mom influenced generations of families because she was the minister of music how many years at her church, Mel? And of course, we see it in you as you sing and as you minister to generations and leaving an impact and mark yourself. So thank you for sharing that and sharing her with us. I'm just grateful, grateful, grateful. And so, when we're talking about, midlife, especially for those persons who are 55 and over, you enter that place where you are looking back over your life, and then you're also looking forward, trying to determine what you want the second half of your life to look like, right? What do I do now? What is going to get my energy now? What is going to get my attention now? Where is my passion? Where is my heart? What is my North Star leading me to in this second half of life? And the thing is, not looking at it with the perspective of sadness, but a perspective of um, excitement, right? And anticipation of actually beginning to get comfortable with your own self, comfortable with who you are. Now, here's the thing, what begins to also happen is a place of disequilibrium, for lack of a better word, almost feeling lost, not quite sure how you're feeling. One day that and the next day you don't. It's a weird kind of floating um, in the middle kind of place. And I realized that that's where I've been for the last maybe 3 or 4 weeks. And I had to get quiet and ask Spirit, what is happening? And for me, for whatever reason, Mel and Susan, this transition into 60 is apparently a rebirth for me. And I am literally in that transition stage. For those of you who have know of birth or have given birth, that transition period is when women are in the most uncomfortable. It is the most difficult, and the pains are the worst right before you begin to push and deliver. And when the Holy Spirit began to show me that I am in that place, that's why I feel so uncomfortable. That's why I feel so restless. That's why it feels like I'm up in the air in limbo and haven't landed yet. Um, just in 1 minute sad, and the Holy Spirit said that's because you are grieving the loss of leaving this place of your life and moving forward to the next, because grief is not always a bad place, because you're mourning the loss of something or the death of something. It really is a rite of passage or a transition, and it is a very frightening and uh, fearful place, but it is that birth canal, that sometimes dark place where you don't even feel like you could breathe, but you're leaving a smaller place. Oh man, that whole piece, Pastor Hayes, my husband talked about when we just did the 2 episodes with men in midlife, and he is coming back, y'all. And he talked about that same thing. It's like being birthed, and when you come through, you come out into a bigger place, a more expansive place, because you couldn't stay where you were because it was getting too small, right? Which is why babies absolutely have to come out whichever way they come out, because that place is too small and it's no longer able to nurture them or allow them to grow. That's what it feels like, right? Mel says a rebirth for all of us. Yes, I transitioned in a major way. In Aruba in January, I turned 60 in February. Come on. That's exactly what I'm talking about. And that's exactly what I feel. And I could not put my finger on it, right? For a minute until I got quiet. I was like, what is happening? And Spirit's like, it is your transition. It is your rebirth. It is your morning. You're coming through that dark canal space and it feels tight, but you are on your way, birthing yourself into a wider, more expansive, more bigger place, because you can't leave that. You can't stay in that place. That place will no longer nurture you to grow to where you need to go. It will no longer sustain you. If you try to stay in that place that's gotten too small, you will cut off your nutrients, your nourishment, and your ability to grow, because that place can no longer feed you. Man, oh man, can I tell y'all? I was so grateful just for the revelation so that I can manage it, because I know what it is and I know how to pray. And that doesn't mean I know what's coming tomorrow. I have an idea. I know what I want. I know where I want to go, but I don't necessarily have all the answers, or can put all the puzzle pieces together. I just know that it's greater than where I am now, but mostly it's because I have a greater sense of self. Woo! A greater sense of my well being. I know my voice and I'm willing to use my voice, no longer willing to stifle what I'm feeling. It is a freedom. That's the word I want to say. It is a freedom, it is a liberation. It is a place that I wish for every woman, even in the difficult parts of it. This season is challenging, it's uncomfortable. Oh my God, it is uncomfortable. But I have been focusing on my health, I've been focusing on my mind, on my spirit, and I'm like, what is driving me? It is that whole piece of getting ready to allow myself to have that rebirth and walk into a whole nother place. Ooh, I'm so excited. So, this is why we're talking about the search for significance in midlife, that whole love, loss, and legacy, right? And so, significance is the quality of being important, right? And it is our perception that life is fundamentally worth living and that we ourselves matter. And what begins to happen for us in midlife is when we begin to look back over our life or take an assessment of where we are, which is what we really need to do and reflect as we go through this rite of passage. Sometimes it can be overwhelming because if we're not careful, we'll get stuck on opportunities missed or mistakes we may have made or things we think we should have done by now, whatever that means, right? We all think that, oh, I should have this by now. I should have done this by now. I should have been there by now, or I should have had this accomplishment by now, right? We start focusing on what we did not do, right? And we can live in a place of disappointment or a pity party or start feeling sorry for ourselves because we didn't do this or we didn't do that or we didn't prepare this way and I could have this by now. And that is a exercise in futility. Why? Because we can't change the past. It is what it is, and we are where we are now. We have to also, if you want to reflect, really take some time, right, to look at, out of all the things you didn't do, or the disappointments you have, or the stuff you left undone, or the things you didn't finish, or the degree you didn't get, or the job you didn't take, or that time you could have moved so and so and you didn't, and what you did or did not do with your money. I guarantee for every one thing that you name that you regret, there are accomplishments and breakthroughs and overcoming and healing and chances you took and things you did that you are not giving yourself credit for, that you are not celebrating yourself and thanking yourself for. If you raised kids, right? If you took care of parents, if you went to school, even if you didn't finish, did you start? Yes. Right? If you helped a loved one out, if you helped a friend out, if you were able to buy a house, or if you paid rent in an apartment, if you got evicted but you found somewhere else to live, right? If you got your car repossessed but you got a new car, or you bought a new car, if you saved money and took care of something, come on, if you paid your bills all up until this point, find something in your life that you relish, right? Honor your life, relish, regret, and release, right? That okay, so there might be some things you wish you did. Stay in that thing for a minute, but don't live there. Don't wallow there. Then begin to relish it. Because to relish, not that green stuff you put on your hot dogs and stuff. I'm talking about the relish it, to be pleased or gratified by. Regret means to mourn the loss of death of, or to miss something very much, or to be sorry for something. There are plenty of reasons we can say, oh, I regret this. I regret saying that. I regret doing that. I regret spending 10 years of my life with that man and I knew he wasn't that. And then I had to get a divorce. But if you came through that, relish your strength and power you had to overcome it and move past it and then release it. That's freedom. Because the search for significance in midlife happens because then we start thinking, what is the meaning of life, right? What is the meaning of my life? I need something to make sense for me at this point. Where can I find fulfillment? Where can I find happiness and joy? What is it? Is it all the stuff that I've been doing that I didn't really want to do, but I was just doing it because somebody else told me that's what I was supposed to do, right? Where do I find significance and meaning? And here's the thing, when we get to midlife, a lot of things are going to make us uncomfortable because our mind, our body, our spirit, everything is rewiring to make us do what will make us happy, what will bring fulfillment, what will bring us joy. And it's absolutely okay to feel that, especially if you grew up in church or you have a strong relationship with God and you are a part of a organized religion or whatever. It will make you feel guilty, right? For wanting to be free and wanting to do things that make you happy because we're so used to being taught to be humble and, to be quiet, as if that makes you a good Christian or a good child of God, you know, that whole false humility. Oh, and you want to be in the background and you want to be quiet and you need to be humble, that it's a sin to brag or boast or be. We not talking about none of that. We're talking about that same text, that same Bible says, let your light so shine, right? So shine. It is all right for you to be happy and want to be happy. It's all right for you to want to feel joy. It's all right for you to prioritize your health and well-being, right? Here's the thing. Your search for significance is not found on the cross. There's only one Jesus. Jesus did all that for us to be free. Just let that sit with you for a minute. Mm. Woo. Yes, Rhonda, without apology. And see, that's the other thing. You have to know the difference between the Holy Spirit leading you and conditioning. A lot of the decisions we make, a lot of the behavior we have, a lot of the things that we do, a lot of the decisions we do as women is about conditioning, not spirit. It's because it's who we've been conditioned to be as women. It's who we've been conditioned to be as Black women. It is who we were told we need to be, how we were told we need to show up, how we were told we need to behave. And a lot of times that was literally either to control us or to keep us doing what other people needed us to do to keep them comfortable, right? Or sometimes it was told to us by the women in our lives, that our mentors, our parents, our aunts, or whatever, because they were trying to keep us safe or trying to keep us in a place that that seemed proper. Oh my goodness, ladylike. you know, anybody told ladies don't do that, girls don't do that, we're not allowed to do that. And whatever it is we do sometimes gets labeled negatively. So when we're talking about the search for significance in midlife for women, we're not talking about how we're looking to be important, right? To be significant, to receive the affirmation and confirmation and acceptance of other people. It's to be true to yourself. Wow. And I'm not saying this to you because it was easy for me, because it's not. And I'm still a work in progress, but I am growing to that point and I am walking in it now wholeheartedly and unapologetically. And is it scary? Absolutely. Absolutely. It's terrifying to walk into a new way of being because we know how to be bound, even if it's not good for us, but it's familiar, because we will stay in a situation that's not beneficial or healthy for us simply because it's familiar. And we are afraid of the unknown of being free, because freedom comes with responsibility. Freedom comes with accountability. You can't blame anybody else for your decisions when you're free. But being free means you're a grown ass woman, means you got to take all of that responsibility and the heat of being one. Wow. So the search for significance, right? And meaning in life will take us on a journey that sometimes we couldn't even have planned for ourselves, but it's awesome. Sometimes it'll take you all the way to Aruba. My friend Mel, just sometimes you'll find yourself away in circumstances, I mean, surroundings and context, and that had to happen so you can be away from your usual surroundings, so you can be away from the usual voices that you hear, so you can just get away so that you can hear your own voice, so that you can hear spirit talking to you about your life. Man, woo! I just need to stop and breathe with that for myself. Phew. Because this season is for us to flourish, to bloom, to come into our blossoming. And it is amazing that we're talking about this as we're leading up to the spring equinox, where spring comes in, which is the season of rebirth and new beginnings. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Because winter, the winter equinox that came in, and I don't see it as really always a death. It's a season of rest, quiet, where we seek warmth, right? And comfort. And we need rest. Why? So we can be strengthened in our spirit, our mind, our resolve to birth, to come into newness, to come into a new place, right? Ah, that's so good. Hey, Lori. Yes, right. Learning how to we people keep us in places, right, that are not healthy for us, is not beneficial. It it drains our spirits, but it's familiar. And people get afraid of us when we come into our own, because then they have to recalibrate how they deal with us too. They have to adjust how to be in relationship with us, because we're not the same. Woo, you're not the same. Just go ahead and embrace that you're changing, right? You talking about the change, right? In this time of life, they call it what? The change. That's an understatement, because it is a change. It is a transformation, but it's not just about the cessation of your menstrual cycle. It's about the cessation of your willingness to die for other people to live. It is the cessation of your willingness to shrink and to be small and to no longer use your voice and to be big in the space, to walk into a space and fill up that whole room with your presence. That is no longer the sensation of us shrinking and putting everybody else first. It is the cessation, the end of all of that, right? In this season, we aren't giving birth to new human beings. We're giving birth to ourselves. That season is gone. It depends on where in the spectrum of midlife you are, because sometimes women absolutely have children up until 40 and some even 45. But if you're in that place where you are outside of that realm of your life and you have fully transitioned into the second one and another one, then the only birthing you are doing right now is to yourself and to your dreams. Whew. Yes. Love it. And not the same, and learning to embrace it. I love it. So, this is the season. I love how Dr. Tama Bryant, because she has a podcast called The Homecoming and talks about coming home to yourself. And that we're doing that. We're coming home to ourselves, finding meaning and fulfillment and harmony within ourselves. That's what this season, this search for significance is about. Not to find peace and importance in who we are to other people, but who we are to ourselves as we align ourselves and realign ourselves to our new normal, right? Our new way of being in midlife and beyond, because there is a beyond. Whew. I have to post this amazing article I just read not too long ago saying that you really don't truly come into your own until you're in just about your 60s and 70s. Oh my God. Who would have ever thought about that? Because back in the day, we thought that was just old, right? That's it's all downhill from there. That you don't have no life. You just sitting in the rocking chair down in Florida somewhere in a retirement home, doing nothing. But can I tell you, in this dispensation of this age, this is the best time when we are supposed to be living our absolute best life, notwithstanding things that happen. If you are caring for elderly parents and, you know, stuff can happen with spouses and even children and grandchildren, life, money, and all, notwithstanding the challenges of our life. I'm just saying, shift your perspective that this life should be that time of freedom. Whew, and joy. And it may take a serious journey to get there, but are you willing to take the journey? That's my question to myself and to you. Are you willing to take the journey? Yeah, I know I am. I know I am. And sometimes we're on the journey and we don't even realize we're on the journey. ah, but it's all good. And we're going to celebrate and we're going to have a good time. So, welcome to Women's History Month, y'all, because you are all history makers in your own right. So, celebrate the history that you have made. You are a living legend if you are here. And the wisdom and the enlightenment that you have gained over the years, celebrate yourself. And when you get up in the morning and look at yourself and say, I'm a living legend and I am a history maker and I celebrate myself, I celebrate you too. Thank you, Crystal. She said, I'm willing to go on the journey. And that's why I love this sacred sisterhood, because we don't have to journey alone. We have each other. And so that's why thank you for joining me on Mondays in the meditation room for Midlife Musings with Dr. K, and all of us sharing our wisdom and insight with each other. We're going to be all right. Amen. As the prophet Kendrick Lamar says, we gonna be all right. And when we look at Harriet Tubman and we think about her and we celebrate her this week on the March 10th and this month, amen, know that that same courage and tenacity that she had to fight for her freedom, this is your season to fight for yours. And guess what? She didn't keep it to herself. She went back and got others. And that's what Enlightened Woman is about. That's what Mondays in the meditation is about, that we reach out to other sisters and bring them along to freedom, or at the very least show them the path and the light that they can find their way themselves. Woo! That's all we got for tonight, y'all. I'm just so excited. Just take a deep breath in, y'all. Woo! And release it. Take another deep breath in and release it. Because sometimes when you get revelation like that, it hits your spirit. It starts moving stuff around in your body. Your emotions start going, and you just have to allow it to settle and to move and to speak to you, and let it embrace it, and let it begin to do the work in you. Yay. Woo, love y'all. Thank y'all for joining me on tonight. Do whatever you need to do to sleep well. Listen to some music, drink some hot tea, do some deep breathing exercises. Pretty soon, I'll have some meditations that you can download so you can use those as well. But just find your own wind down ritual so that you can sleep well, because our rest is imperative for our bodies and for us to be well. Because some of us really just struggle with what? Dehydration, because we're not drinking enough water, and our bodies are not functioning well because we need to rest. So Get yourself some rest. Woohoo! Thanks, Mel. I'll see you soon. Love y'all. See y'all next Monday in the meditation room. Invite a sister with you, and make sure you follow us on IG and on Facebook so you can get some of the information that we share throughout the week. All right. Love y'all. See y'all soon. Have a peaceful, peaceful night. See y'all. Love you.